The Ultimate Fighting Championship presents a full night of action in the most intense full-contact event in sports today, UFC 24. It's time to get real.
It has been 6 months since last we opened the gates of the Octagon inside the Lake Charles Civic Center here in the gateway to the Gulf, Lake Charles, Louisiana. We have gone from Fat Tuesday to an Ultimate Friday, and we are set for UFC 24. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg, and welcome to what we hope will be another historic night here inside the walls of the Octagon during UFC 24. My heavyweight partner, a heavyweight at heart, a heavyweight in the Olympics, and a heavyweight on this telecast. The heavyweights take center stage.
Oh, they certainly do.
Also tonight on the card, we will see the debuts of fighters who are fighting under Tito Ortiz, Frank Shamrock, and Pat Miletich. Our Octagon regulations, the 3 judges score the bout. The prelims are in the bank. 5-minute rounds, 2 of them. The non-title, 3-minute, 5-minute round.
And as far as Octagon regulations, the round winner gets 10 points and the opponent gets 9 or less, depending on whether he had a dominating round. That would lead to a 10-8 score. And if there are fouls, it could even lead to a 10-7 score. And the way you get a dominating round is by knocking your opponent down, throwing them, or having near submissions. Tonight's judges:
Skip Hall, Jeff Bolin, and Jim Prejean from Lake Charles, Louisiana, our judges here tonight for UFC 24. Bout number 1, we are set for a good lightweight matchup between Jens Pulver and David Velasquez. And David's trainer is Frank Shamrock. And here we have the entrance of David Velasquez, who talked about training with our UFC legend, Shamrock.
Well, Frank Shamrock basically, he breaks everything down. Everything's always broken down to a fine detail. He always makes sure that everything's clean. I've never had that before as far as instructors go. Being around Crazy Bob and Frank, to see the the greatness that these guys are doing, wrecking havoc on people, basically just excites me to do the same thing. These guys push me to be the best that I can be.
Now, Crazy Bob is Bob Cook, who we will see fight later tonight on the card. But there is David Velasquez. Super lightweight fight against Jens Pulver. His mixed martial arts record is 4-2. Both losses to bigger guys. So he looks to take advantage of his submission, striking, and conditioning tonight.
Yeah, these lightweights should be in some great shape. Shamrock, no doubt in my mind why he has everything broken down in great detail. Superb fighter, now superb trainer.
Jens Pulver, fighting out of Davenport, Iowa. He is trained by Pat Miletich. And one thing you will see with Jens Pulver, he loves to punch.
The level that I've stepped up is, I've definitely went up a level with the people that I'm training with. Came from a wrestling background, wrestled through college. I've been working on boxing probably now for 2-3 years, really been focusing on the last 6 months. And then when I got over there with Pat, been working on jiu-jitsu. I know what it is, with the submissions and stuff, but I haven't exactly perfected or anything. And when this came around, I knew this was what I wanted to do, and basically just chasing after a dream that I wanted to achieve.
Well, Pulver's last fight went just 33 seconds in a World Extreme event in which he was victorious. A power puncher, good wrestling skills, and don't let the 5'7", 157 trick you. He is very strong for his side. So here is the tail of the tape for fight number 1 this evening from Lake Charles, Louisiana. The 25-year-old Jens Pulver against David Velasquez, 33 years old, both weighing in at an identical 157 pounds. To get our evening officially started, let's go inside the Octagon, working his 15th UFC, the veteran voice of the Octagon,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bruce Buffer.
we are live from the Civic Center Arena in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Our first fight is a lightweight fight consisting of 3 5-minute rounds, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a submission fighter who is making his octagon debut, standing 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 157 pounds, fighting out of Maryville, California. Please welcome David Velasquez! And his opponent, standing to my right, he is a freestyle fighter with a mixed martial arts record of 14-1-1. And he is a veteran of UFC 22, standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 157 pounds. He is originally from Sunnyside, Washington, fighting out of Davenport, Iowa. Please welcome Jens Pulver. And our referee for the evening is Big John McCarthy.
A constant since UFC 2, working his 27th UFC, Big John McCarthy getting set for the first time this evening to bark out the 3 most famous words inside the octagon. Let's get the first one started. Pulver and Velasquez.
All right, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on!
Here we go! For the first time in 2000, live from Lake Charles, a quick kick from David Velasquez.
And you can bet Velasquez is in shape coming out of a Shamrock camp. Shamrock's whole game plan is based on conditioning. It's how he beat Tito Ortiz in what you called and what I certainly will call a fight.
It certainly was, Jeff.
Nice punch.
Right here in this building, and look at these two tangle quickly. Oh, a big left, and another. Look at the lefts of Pulver. What a great start to what we hope will be another memorable evening. UFC debut for Velasquez, 1 draw in the UFC in this building at 22 for Pulver against Alvarez. And look at him, left hands. Trying with the left again.
Wow.
Hey, position. Get your fucking position.
You hear the corner. Pat Miletich working and yelling at his man, telling him to get position. And Frank Shamrock, a champion, on the other side. Lightweight and middleweight champions, a knee. These strikes are unbelievable.
He doesn't have an answer for Pulver's left hand. Pulver's getting that left hook in.
Watch the elbow.
There it was again.
What did I say coming in? He likes to strike.
Mouse under David Velasquez's right eye.
And a smile on his face, almost saying, Jens, nice job, good start. Let's continue to get it on. Pat Miletich in the corner. One of the best cornermen there is in this business.
Time to work. Tie him up. Don't let him leave. Time to work. Time to work.
Circle out, Dave.
Inside.
You know the game.
Inside.
Circle out.
Keep control inside.
Keep him working.
You can hear
Keep
Frank,
circling.
too.
Keep him working. Keep dancing.
Keep working. Doing good, guys.
Frank, our retired middleweight champion.
He's got to guard against that left hand. He drops his right hand as he's defending against knees, and Pulver comes in with that left hook again.
I mean, Pulver, when he won the Botsrutten Invitational 3 lightweight title, he won both his matches with knockouts under 30 seconds. Shamrock's man is taking punishment here in round 1.
And you got to wonder in a 3-round fight whether Pulver has punched himself out in the first period. Man, he is throwing leather.
Knee, good knee. Hands up.
Working. Both doing good.
Elbows in, Dave. Watch the knee. On your back.
Oh! The left knee landed that time.
You're okay, baby. You're okay.
Velasquez is bloodied up.
Circle out.
Trying to bring that knee high again.
Another left. He almost took him out with that left hook.
Velasquez trying to counter. Pulver showing great conditioning.
Right to the body, left cross, and boy, it almost put Velasquez down.
Big knee up top.
There it is again. There it is again. Got to say something about Velasquez's chin. No doubt about it, he can take a punch.
Knee up top. Big knee, I showed you that knee.
Look at the energy. Listen to the energy of Frank Shamrock, and it finally goes down to the ground.
Velasquez is mounted here, side mount.
.105 remaining in round number 1.
Work it through, you're doing good.
Seems that Pulver here is taking a blow, collecting himself. Knee on the stomach, he'll rise up and strike from there if he keeps it.
A Pat Miletich student against a Frank Shamrock student. It looks like both are going to weather storms here in round 1.
Doing good, guys.
Pulver will be able to regain his arms now.
Full mount. Here's the left, and more, and more.
Didn't get hit by any of those punches.
Doing good. Put your fingers in his face. From the hand. Doing good.
Velasquez should be hanging on here, try to kill the time.
You're at 13 seconds. 13 seconds, Dave. Use the fence. Bridge off of it. Go.
Wow, another left.
No, 10 seconds. No, you got it.
And now the first round comes to a close.
Oh, and they get grappling at the end there. Velasquez showing life.
Wow. The first of 3 5-minute rounds between Jens Pulver and David Velasquez.
The people like what they're seeing.
And they should.
Pulver on his feet had some tremendous punches, but that leg kick was caught. And Pulver put him down and started raining left hands in. Another look at it. It caught him in the head, but he didn't really follow through. It seemed to snap at the end and just catch him. More of a slap than anything.
Look at that knee.
Caught him right in, just below the chin, it seemed.
Yep.
Drove him backwards, but Velasquez looks fresh in the corner. The right eye is not closed, but that's the reason. Those punches there that he got the mouse under the right eye. Pulver's left hook has dominated this fight so far.
So Velasquez in his corner. Both of his losses in mixed martial arts have been to bigger guys. Jens Pulver, not a bigger guy, but a big heart. Jens says his style is similar to that of Tito Ortiz, and he showed that come out and go after it Tito Ortiz attitude in round 1. Passed on from Bob Shamrock's Shamrock 2000 team to Pat Miletich's team in Iowa because he needed lighter guys to train against, did Jens Pulver. A great start. And now they go down. Shamrock,
that's
retired
tight.
middleweight champion. That is tight.
Push it over.
Headlock, just like we use in
Push it
wrestling.
over,
He's got
Dave,
the
and
arm
bridge on
tied
it.
into the lock.
Keep yourself safe.
Something that Shamrock
Push your
does,
hand
and he
over.
even said that when he trains,
Push
is he
your
puts
hand over,
himself
Dave.
and his students in really
Make
bad
sure you're
positions.
okay on the side choke.
Because
and then
that's
beat
where
up.
you're going to find yourself inevitably in a
Watch him
fight,
out. Don't let him
whether
out
it's
you.
in this
Keep your
one
left
or the
knee
next
up.
one or down the road. And
Come on,
perhaps
knee.
Velasquez was able to
Come on,
weather
Dave.
that kind of
You
storm.
know this, baby. Scoot your hips up. It's time to work.
But
Elbow to
he's
knee.
mounted again, and I'm surprised he got mounted so quickly.
Scoot up. Yeah, now scoot up. Keep working out. You know the game. Walk up his body. Walk up his body, Dave. Go. Walk up his body. That's
Now
it.
flurries.
You're okay. Walk up.
All right, it is great to hear the champions in the corner in this fight. And talking about the tactician practices that there really are in this. It's just not all fighting. I mean, it is truly a chess match here at the ultimate level, the UFC.
I would really think for those who are not familiar with MMA or uneducated about mixed martial arts competition, this is all about science. Yes, you can have the personality and that explosive athletic character, but it has to be directed. And we've seen too many fights where just pure raw aggression and power fail because brains beat brains.
No.
I'll take a smart power versus just a plain raw power any day.
Trying to work some elbows now.
And it's being effective.
He cannot hit the head with the elbow, and he knows that. Now Pulver on top, back and forth. Velasquez trying to stop the flurry, trying to get his legs, full mount. Pulver continuing to punish David Velasquez.
Those punches don't have a lot of power. Look at him wing them in from the side. Yes, they're connecting. They are scoring. But they're not straight punches like those. Those are the ones that are going to hurt him.
And they're continuing to land. There's a big one, and another left punch. Pulver is teeing off.
He also looks like he's punching himself out.
And it is over. It is over.
No answer.
Pulver has defeated David Velasquez.
You're missing him, Bubba. The other shot, you're missing him, right? You got to connect with him. Referee time.
We have, it's a referee time. It's not over. They're examining Velasquez's eyes.
Hey.
Thank you very much.
That was hard right there.
He said he was missing him.
He didn't want any fucking more.
Not sure what's going on. No, the fight's over. Fight's over.
It is an
fight's
official
over. It's
stoppage.
over.
Yeah.
Leon's in there taking care of him medically.
Stoppage at 2:41 of the second round. Jens Pulver, after the draw here in UFC 22, a dominant performance here in UFC 24.
Here's a beautiful shot there by Pulver. Not only did he pick the leg, but he moved up into a headlock onto the head and put him down. But then he got to the mounted position, and here Velasquez could not solve the riddle of how to get him back in the guard. And Pulver took full advantage of it, reining those punches in. Big John McCarthy saw no reasonable defense offered after so many strikes thrown, ended the fight.
And he continued and continued to show us that he loves to strike. Jens Pulver, in the Pat Miletich camp, defeats David Velasquez. Impressive fight for the official finalities. Here is Bruce Buffer.
We have a winner at 2 minutes, 41 seconds of the first round due to referee stoppage. Let's have a big hand for the winner, Jens Pulver!
Jens has moved to Iowa to train with Miletich from his home in Sunnyside, Washington. It is paying off. Incredible performance by Jens Pulver. And don't forget, your first site in fight news is SEG.com, the home of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and for continuous fight news and entertainment. Listen to it all day long, www.iyada.com. Eddie Goldman doing his fight shows live the last couple of days here in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And of course, when you're at the Super Bowl of Mixed Martial Arts, you have the opportunity to visit with the fighters and their managers. Fight number 2 will also be in the lightweight division. Tiki, 23 years old, who is trained by Tito Ortiz, will take on Bob Cook, who is trained by Frank Shamrock. And it was less than 6 months ago that Tito Ortiz and Frank Shamrock fought right here in this building for the middleweight championship. There is Tito Ortiz trailing his fighter, Tiki, 23 years old. From California, talking to us about training in Huntington Beach.
I work out in Huntington Beach, and a lot of the good fighters from UFC and other organizations happen to live there and train there, so I've had the benefit of training with a lot of people. And training for this fight, I've been fortunate enough to train with John Lewis, who has showed me a lot in cardio, technique, and jiu-jitsu. So I hope to come in and show everybody what I can do and come out on top.
All right, Tiki. Tito told me earlier today, Tiki is a great athlete who kicks like a mule.
Well, he's well-rounded, physically strong, good striking, so he'll use his hands, and of course, he'll use those leg kicks.
So Tiki makes his debut inside the octagon. Asked about his training, he said, "Can I just tell you, it has been hell." Let's see what he does in his debut as he gets set to take on Tito's opponent, Frank Shamrock's Crazy Bob Cook. Crazy Bob is from North Fork, California. Now that is prevalent to know because he drives 3 hours each day to fight with Frank, and he's excited.
I'm excited to be here. A little bit nervous. It hasn't really hit yet. I think it'll hit when it comes time to start warming up. And maybe when I show up at the arena and see the cage and all that. UFC is the big show, so it's great to be a part of it. And carry on the tradition. I got to do well.
Now you talk about dedication. He drives 3 hours each way to the gym. Frank Shamrock's top student, submission specialist.
That says one thing, dedication. And he's going to one of the best at it, submission specialist, comfortable striking. And if he's Frank Shamrock's top student, he's got to have good skills on the ground and a heart that'll carry him the entire distance.
Tiki, 23 years old. Bob Cook, 30 years old. Both well-versed in submissions. Tiki, a bit taller, 4 inches taller. They are both lightweights coming in at 169.9 or less for the matchup. Could this one be as good as the lightweight fight we just saw? Let's get set for it. Here's Bruce Pulver.
Our next fight is a lightweight fight consisting of 3 5-minute rounds, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a submission fighter with a mixed martial arts record of 4-0. Standing 6 feet tall, weighing in at 169 pounds, and fighting out of Huntington Beach, California. He is making his octagon debut. Please welcome Tiki! And his opponent. Right. He is a submission fighter with a mixed arts record of 3-0. Standing 5 feet, 9 inches tall, in at 167 pounds, and fighting out of North Fork, California. Please welcome Crazy Bob Cook. Get him, Bobby.
Now, Bob is known for the Crazy Bob Special. That refers to the knee scissors that he gets people in a lot. He says it is like torture. We had one great lightweight fight to start the evening, ready to get the second one started. Big John McCarthy.
Right, here we go. Ready. Are you ready? Get it on!
So here we go. Lightweight fight 2, and they both come out quickly.
Oh, some nice knees. Cook puts... Whoa, Cook had Tiki down, but now Tiki rallies. Cook puts him in the guard, and they go from there. What a flurry. And one has to wonder, with the amount of energy, if they keep this kind of pace going, Tiki had to go, armbar!
Oh my, looking for the armbar, looking for a tap.
Oh, and he gets out, and he gets out again.
Oh my. Tiki and Cook, here we go. This is the one thing that I love about UFC debuts. We don't know what to expect.
Don't know what to expect, and everyone believes they need the win to further their career. But with great fights like we've had so far, even the people who have lost have made a great impression.
Tiki has the footwear on, the balder head. Bob Cook has the eyes on the back of his trunk.
One thing about Tiki is he cut some weight. It took him extra long to make the weight class, and that may pay dividends to Bob Cook.
Look at those.
Oh, and he gets rocked by a punch.
Oh,
he's in trouble.
Over. All right, but the flurry stops. Trying to stay up is Tiki. He can't bring him down.
Good balance by Tiki to keep them there. Cook on the ground.
You know, the interesting thing is Tito and Frank's relationship is one of great friendship. But now in this same building, their fighters compete against each other here tonight.
Well, there always will be rivals based on they had a great fight for the middleweight championship, but it's also recognized by all the young fighters now that you've got to move towards those who were successful and learn from them. And Shamrock's career, not over, though he's vacated the title. Ortiz's obvious stock is still rising, probably just like NASDAQ in those techs.
Tito will join us in the broadcast position a little later. Right now, though, he is a coach and a fan of his fighter, Bob Cook.
Cook seems to have weathered the storm, but he got stunned. Nice left by Cook.
So Bob, Cook, and Tiki.
Nice defense by Tiki. He's able to rip the arms up of that double and not allow Cook to finish it.
So Tito and Tiki together. Bob and Frank together. And they fight here in the first of 3 5-minute rounds.
He was circling the wrong way against the southpaw. Cook loading up at that left.
I mean, this fight just got right underway. You want to talk about taking let's get it on literally. Cook
Shamrock,
and Tiki have done that.
I guarantee you Shamrock's smart enough to have told his fighter to set a blistering pace early. Try to zap Tiki of energy so that it's going to pay big dividends in the third round.
And that is somewhat of the strategy that Frank Shamrock used in defeating Tito Ortiz.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
So Tiki at 23 years old.
Still can't get him off the ground.
Incredible balance there. And now it goes down again, but not in the direction that Cook wanted.
He wants it down. He wants to look for submission. He's already had him locked up in an armbar, couldn't finish it. Tiki had to lift him up and muscle him around. I guarantee you that takes energy, and your adrenaline's cooking. You realize a little mistake and he's going to set it. So I got to believe that Tiki's a little bit winded here.
Jeff had mentioned that Tiki had to cut some weight. Oftentimes it will gas you throughout the evening, working your body in the fashion in which he needed to get to the lightweight weight requirements of 169.9 or less. Tiki's going to let him up. Cook back to his feet.
Good ploy there. You don't want to bounce up until that other fighter gives you room.
The right glances off the chin.
Oh, right hand, another one.
And another big right. And a left connects with Tiki. A left and a right. Combinations. You hear Shamrock calling for the knee?
30 seconds, Bob.
Trying to give it 30 seconds in round one. Thank you, Frank Shamrock. And down they go.
Tiki is straight up and down. His knees get locked while he's there.
That'll close up the scoring gap in round
there's no
one.
doubt. Hands on hips, a sure indication of fatigue. And now his hands are being carried mid-chest.
Final seconds of round one.
What a round. Great round.
Who's fucking tired like you are?
My, oh my.
Tired as you are, okay? I know you're tired.
You know, it's interesting. I said to Frank right before the show tonight, Frank Shamrock, I said, you know, a year ago, nobody knew Randleman, nobody knew Ortiz, nobody knew Hizzo. Now tonight, we're starting to get to know these young men.
Absolutely. There's lots of them out there, particularly in the last 3-4 years, the hybrid style, learning those 4 skill sets. And look at the flurry by Cook at the end, driving Tiki against the fence. Had him on the rope, so to speak.
Okay, good. In swell. Give me in swell.
You know what? There's nothing like the UFC.
No, there's not.
Except no substitutes.
Hey, good fucking position. Hey, good position. Keep your fucking hands up. Circle.
That's Tito Ortiz you can hear talking to his student, Tiki, the lightweight. There you see a shot of it. Tiki, who started kickboxing at 17 years old, is 4-0 in mixed martial arts. Great stand-up as we saw there.
Hey, Tiki, think and relax. Think and relax, Tiki.
We are underway in round two.
Let's see how much energy Tiki has here. It seemed like he spent an awful lot. It's not to say that Cook didn't.
They came out at a little different pace, didn't they?
Yes, they did. And Cook finished with that 30-second flurry that Shamrock tried to use and did use successfully against Tito Ortiz.
Now, Bob Cook first went to the Lions Den, and then when Frank left, Bob trained at Frank's gym and the Lions Den.
Left hand on the button by Kirk.
So they've been together for a while. Tiki trying to deliver again. Combinations now. That one was blocked nicely. Good defense.
Oh, he's going to get the takedown. And now we'll get to see Cook in the top position.
He's in a half guard now.
Look for him to try to snake that left knee through and work to the mount.
He almost had the side mount there, Jeff.
There it is, mount.
There you go, full mount. Now this potentially could be trouble.
Well, it's recognized in jiu-jitsu and MMA as the second worst position to be in. The first is giving up your back while on your belly.
Susceptible for a choke. Spinning, and here you go. Here you go, possibility of a choke here.
And certainly that's what Cook, there it is, he set it in, has the full heel, here it is.
There you go, what a great explanation of the two trouble spots in which he put himself in.
Well, most people turn away from punches, and when you do, in MMA, in comes the choke. I'll tell you what, their coaches, Shamrock and Ortiz, had a classic fight. Tell you what, that was a classic fight as well.
You want to talk about tacticians. How about that? Bob Cook gets the full mount. Tiki shows his back. Boom. It is over. And Shamrock defeats Ortiz in another fashion here tonight in Lake Charles.
I think we're going to see more rivalry between Shamrock and Ortiz. Maybe some day down the road in another fight, but certainly between camps.
How about the way that Tiki came out to start this thing, though?
He came out big. He really hit Cook early, and Cook had no real good double leg success, even though he shot 3-4 times. Tiki's sprawl and ripping up the hands, super job in defending. And at the end there, once he was able to take his back, in went the choke, locks it up tight right there, and it was just a matter of seconds before he tapped and John McCarthy stopped the fight.
The fight stopped round 2, 140. And the winner is Bob Cook. For the official word inside for the decision from Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you have just witnessed was a war between two lightweight opponents, with the winner by tap out at 1 minute, 30 seconds of the second round. The winner is Crazy Bob Cook. Let's have a big hand for Tiki.
Both of these competitors, as it was in fight number 1 tonight, showing us that the future is very bright here in the Super Bowl of Mixed Martial Arts. Pulver and Velasquez went at it. Pulver with the victory in the second round. And then this man, under Frank Shamrock, able to lock that chokehold in and finish the fight.
Well, Tiki was mounted and was threatened with strikes, and he turned, and immediately Cook adjusted, took his back, rear naked choke there, tight, and as soon as he had it locked in with the double heel hook in, there was no escape, had a tap out. Really an impressive performance by both, and especially Cook.
So Bob Cook goes to 6-0 as a professional, and now 4 fights in the UFC style. A victory in all for Bob Cook, who is backstage with Frank Shamrock and James Wormy.
Crazy Bob Cook, his first trip inside the octagon, his first win inside the octagon.
Yes,
Congratulations, Bob.
Thank you. Oh, it was a good fight, tough guy. Got a lot of people to thank. First, my family for their support, my wife, my kids, Frank and Angie, Javier, my teammates, Roland, and the rest of the guys, all the students who let me beat on them to get ready for this. Thank all you guys.
Bob, you weren't afraid to throw punches. You weren't afraid to go for submissions. Take us through it. How was it like your first time
I
in
can
the
do it
octagon?
all. It's he was a tough guy. He was ready for me. There's no secrets now. They're all tough fights. Everybody in here is a warrior. So it's just the guy with the biggest heart, and put it on the line.
Frank, what do you think about this guy?
he's Crazy Bob. What else can you say? Bob's my best guy. He's just tough as nails, and he always comes through, and that's what it's about. We're just having a good time. Little Dave fought. He fought his heart out, and he lost, but it doesn't matter because we're doing what we love, and that's what matters.
Bob, let's take a look at the end of the fight here together. Take me through it.
Okay, I knew I had him when he gave me his back. He was done, and I wasn't letting off that choke till McCarthy was going to pry me off.
Bob Cook, it's a little tiring out there in the octagon, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's a good thing I'm here.
Yeah, you guys keeping me up.
Bob, congratulations on your first win inside the octagon. Back to you guys ringside.
Al James, you and Frank Shamrock holding up our winner in fight number 2. And what a performance put on by the 2 winners so far in the lightweight division. The first winner was Jens Pulver, one of the top students of our lightweight champion, Pat Miletich, who is sitting next to my partner, Jeff Blatnick.
Well, Pat, first of all, welcome to Lake Charles. Welcome to the UFC once again. You are our reigning lightweight title, and there were rumors coming down here that I heard of your retirement. Could you please set the record straight?
No, I don't plan on retiring at all right now. In the future, I'm opening up a big facility, a Gold's Gym, Miletich Martial Arts facility, and I'm going to start running that. But until that gets open in October, November, I'm definitely planning on fighting this summer, and Bob Cook looks like a good opponent, obviously. Both of those guys are very tough. I was impressed.
Let me ask you this, physically right now in your training, how are you doing?
Right now I'm just rehabbing my lower back. My shoulder's 100%. Actually, my lower back was caused by my shoulder injury because I was throwing so many hard left hooks when I was sparring, not using the right hand. I wrenched my back over and over and over, and I think that's pretty much what caused it.
Well, certainly there are a plethora of UFC greats here, including yourself, Shamrock, Ortiz, Coleman, Ruas. But we're also seeing a bunch of young ones coming up here and having very impressive performances. Excitement here in the facility, just sky high, and one of them was for Jens Pulver, one of your trainers. And it seems a lot of these young fighters have attached themselves to one of the UFC champions. Tell us about Jens Pulver.
Jens came to us several months back, wanting to find more workout partners and a little more intensity, I suppose. And I was very impressed with him. I liked him right off the bat because he's got work ethic that you really don't find very often. And he's got the talent also, which you don't find very often, and you very seldom do you find those two together. Somebody who has the talent, who will work the extra.
And quickly, is it a two-way street? You helping them, teaching them with your experience? Many consider you the best corner man in the business. You're precise with your instruction, and you got great anticipation. But also, doesn't it help you to get top quality athletes in for your own training?
Yes, it definitely does. It's helped me. Having the top quality athletes come to me is what's gotten me to the world title, and I want to do the same thing for them. And Jens is just another addition to all those guys.
Okay, back to you, Mike.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff, and thank you, Pat Miletich, as the scenery in Lake Charles, outside and inside the octagon, spectacular here again tonight. As we move on to another man who Pat knows pretty well, Dave Menne. Not particularly trained by Pat himself, but working out with the Extreme Challenge team, and he will take on Fabiano Iha, 8-2 overall in mixed martial arts action. He is 0-1 in the UFC, defeated by Laverne Clark, another young man from Iowa, at 131 by a ref stoppage at UFC 20 in Birmingham, Alabama. Dave Menne, good defense, and he wants tonight to take advantage of his opponent's weaknesses.
I don't know, we're just looking to win. If that's counter punching, I don't know. I play the odds. If I'm better at one, I'm gonna take to the guy's weakness. But I'm not. I don't. When I do it, I usually do it pretty. If I'm taking it to him on the feet, I take it to him on the feet. I'll still trade with people on the feet if they're better than me. I'll still hit back, but ultimately I'm trying to win.
Well, Menne is very experienced, as many of the members of the Extreme Challenge team are. 24-3-1, he claims his record in mixed martial arts, Jeff.
has that grappling background. He says he's well-rounded, but most of his experience is on the ground. So I'm going to look for him to try to bring it down there, use submission skills.
His opponent tonight, Fabiano Iha. His birthplace, Santa Catalina, Brazil, fighting out of Huntington Beach, California. And he is going to bring in a big-time presence. His wife loves watching him fight.
She loves it. We've been married for a long time, and that's when she met me. That's what I'm doing, and also my daughter. My daughter loves it. Love to see the fight. Love to see her daddy on the octagon. My wife and my daughter is in Brazil. We're gonna be watching the fights online.
His wife Alexandra and his 5-year-old daughter Clavia will be watching tonight. This jiu-jitsu specialist try to work an arm lock.
He definitely has a background in jiu-jitsu. Look for him to do submissions. And I have a note to myself that I didn't read, and that is Menne may want to keep this thing standing because he's going up against a submission person. So I may see Menne measure this fight by how well he does initially in the striking department. If he finds success there, he'll keep it there.
You see the tail of the tape, 2 inches taller as Menne. He is 4 years younger than Fabiano Iha. Another lightweight fight on a night in which the lightweight champion will sit and call this one with us, Pat Miletich. Let's get the official introductions from the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is a lightweight bout consisting of 3 5-minute rounds, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a freestyle fighter with a mixed martial arts record of 24, 3-1. Standing 5 feet, 10 inches tall, weighing in at 169 pounds, and fighting out of Forest Lake, Minnesota. Please welcome Dave Menne. And his opponent, standing to my right, he is a jiu-jitsu expert and a vale tudo expert with a mixed martial arts record of 8-2. Standing 5 feet, 8 inches tall, weighing in at 168 pounds, originally from Santa Catarina, Brazil, and fighting out of Huntington Beach, California. Please welcome Fabiano Iha!
Iha with that mixed martial arts record of 8-2. Studied jiu-jitsu for 11 years, got his black belt from Crawling Gracie, and moved to America 3 years ago. Ready to get this third fight of the evening started. Here's Big John McCarthy.
All right, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Get it on!
Can we have another one as dynamic as the first 2 we have seen this evening? Our lightweight champion, Pat Miletich, our third man in the booth here. He knows Dave Menne very well. He's with the Extreme Challenge team. He knows Iha well because one of his other buddies, Laverne Clark, defeated him in Birmingham at UFC 20.
Iha with a takedown. Menne desperately seeking some form of guard. Possible arm lock. Possible arm lock. Not going to get it. Good movement there.
Now a combination. Big punch delivered.
He's also very skilled at Muay Thai, so I think Fabiano definitely. Push an elbow. Push an elbow. Push an elbow.
In the white trunks, Fabiano Iha and Dave Menne trying to deliver a chokehold.
Guillotine choke.
That right connected.
There we go. Dave's got beautiful combinations when he opens up. He and Shoney have had some good wars, and Shoney and I have had a good war. Dave's a very intelligent fighter. He's going to take his time, pick his shots, and when it's time to go in for the kill, I think he'll do so. Fabiano looks a lot stronger and a lot better than he did in his last showing, so this could be a heck of a fight.
Now, what a way to start. And it's interesting, we see a lot of guys make UFC debuts or come back for their second time, Pat, but as you and Jeff talked about, you have still holding on to your fighting career, but moved to that extra level of training. And just as it was 1 year ago with the Marco Huas' top students, the Mark Coleman's top students, now we see some of your top guys that, as Monty Cox told me today, are busting their tail in the gym for the opportunity to fight here in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this is their goal, and everybody wants to get here, and there's an awful lot of guys out there like that.
Oh, big knee.
A big knee delivered from Menne to Fabiano Iha.
And it seemed to me that Iha is starting not to like to go stand up with Menne. As soon as Menne started throwing, he's looking to shoot the double. Oh.
And I will mention in the best of the best tournament in the Extreme Challenge that Dave Menne did beat Laverne Clark by a chokehold, and that fight was a complete war. The crowd was really going nuts for that fight. It was a phenomenal fight.
Now, most fights that involve Laverne Clark involve striking, and so I can imagine they went toe-to-toe, didn't they?
There was quite a few strikes, and Dave won the fight, but he looks pretty rough afterward.
I bet he did.
I think Menne wants to keep it on his feet there. He got off of him. Nice knee.
Now, he's got that Muay Thai background, Jeff, so he doesn't mind the exchange of punches and kicks from their feet. Iha looking to take them down. McCarthy tells Dave Menne he cannot hold on to the fence. Dave listens. Quickly, let's go. 1:49 remains in the first of 3 5-minute scheduled rounds. Oh, that right hit him.
Pat, how frustrating is it when you shoot a double leg, work so hard to get the man, and then you lose it?
It's very frustrating. It's definitely, when you don't have the skills standing up, it's got to be a panicky situation. You're fighting out of desperation, and it does wear you out.
Oh, nice uppercut.
Iha with the uppercut, and another. And the return of a favor from Dave Menne.
Good work, good work. Come on, gentlemen, keep it moving.
Yeah, these guys, Bob Cook and Tiki and Menne and Fabiano are all starting to scare me. I'm glad I'm getting married September 16th.
Well, that's great news. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Keep it working. There you go, guys. Come on.
These are guys whose ultimate dream, Pat, is to have what you have right now, the lightweight championship of the UFC.
Well, I plan on defending it a couple more times and putting on a good showing for the crowd and step out in a good way.
I have one question for you, Pat. Did you ask or were you submitted into it?
Actually, I begged.
Good for you, Pat.
She speaks French, so I had to learn some French.
Good opening round. What a great night so far. These lightweights certainly not afraid to go toe-to-toe, and no shortage of action.
Keep it working, gentlemen. You're doing good.
Dave, the Extreme Challenge 19 lightweight tournament champion, won that lightweight tournament in Extreme Challenge 23 and in Extreme Challenge 25.
Nice elbows by Fabiano there.
Fabiano coming to America 3 years ago, fighting in the octagon here on our soil for the second time. Good opening 5 minutes.
Second round coming up. You want to continue?
Gotta love it. Boy, have we had some great fights here tonight. A knee there by Menne. Has him down there, and immediately Iha goes to his back and assumes the guard position. And then up against the fence, it was Iha's turn with a beautiful combination of uppercuts.
Don't blow your nose.
And then you see Menne returning the favor. And then after a takedown, a couple of pounds by Menne, and then he wants him back on his feet. And I'm starting to sense that Dave Menne may want to keep this standing.
Yeah, whenever what Dave's doing is when they do go to the ground, he's waiting for Fabiano to open his guard to try and work for a submission. Once the guard comes open, it's time to come back up. And he doesn't want to, I don't think he wants to open up a whole lot until that guard does open up.
Now this UFC 24, the first time we've been in the States since September 24th, right here. Frank against Tito, and this night has been spectacular thus far. Fabiano Iha in the white shorts, and Dave Menne from Forest Lake, Minnesota in the dark trunks. Iha.
Oh, another right hand by Menne.
I think Fabiano snuck one in also.
I think he did
nice
too,
punch.
I think he did too. Down hard with a little extra oomph.
Smart tactic. He's being told to put his head in the fence, and we all know that's a good tactic in the UFC to deprive your opponent of being able to move. But Iha will have no part of it and turns to the center.
They both exchange. Inside a full guard of Iha right now is Dave Menne.
That's a good idea that Dave's turning it into the cage now. It definitely keeps the guy from scooting his hips out and enables you to zero in with your punches.
How tactical does it get when the two fighters are in this position, Pat?
It's a chess match. People don't realize there's a lot of work going on in there. Along leverage and arm positioning to get your shots in on people, along with watching out for the submissions from the bottom guy. And the bottom guy's obviously got to watch his legs from the top guy. So there's a lot of thinking going on along with the strikes.
Combination ribs in the head. They're rabbit punches, but they'll break your opponent down. At least they'll hurt his spirit, won't they?
They all add up. They all add up. He's tightening up his abs and protecting himself, and that's he's not breathing as well when he's doing that. So the less oxygen your opponent's getting, the quicker he's going to wear out.
That's quick. I mean, he goes left, boom, boom, and then right, boom, boom. You've seen him do that a few times, haven't you?
Quite a few.
Has he done it to you, champ?
Dave and I have never had to fight each other. We've rolled around together in the gym, but never had to fight each other. He trains up in Minneapolis, and they've got some real tough fighters up there.
An extension of the Extreme Challenge team, not directly working with Pat in the same fashion as Jim's Pulver, who
nice
we saw earlier.
Punches and kicks by Menne. And Iha wants down.
Now that is where his background is, jiu-jitsu, Vale Tudo. He was in Royce Gracie's entourage, was Fabiano Iha for UFC's 3, 4, and 5. Always wanted to fight in the UFC and is doing it for the second time here tonight. Mentioned earlier, he was defeated by Laverne Clark in 131 by a referee stoppage back in Birmingham, Alabama at UFC 20. That is Fabiano Iha. Menne making his debut. Menne is just working it.
Staying busy, working the body up to the head.
2 minutes remains in round 2.
You don't see too much body work very much here in the UFC. Menne is definitely using the body and then going up to the head.
Yeah, people just really, a lot of them don't realize how much the body shots hurt and how much they add up. If you've ever sparred with a pro boxer and taken a left hook to the liver, you know how much the body shots hurt, and that's why I encourage my guys to do it, and anybody that's smart does it when they're in the guard, and that's why Dave's doing it. He knows what he's doing.
We've seen rabbit punching to the body, particularly the rib area, to force a man to move.
Well, you've got to get leverage into your punches. You don't. If you're going to throw a punch, it's got to mean something.
Doing good.
And try and hurt him every time you hit him with a shot.
1:12 remains in the second of 3 scheduled 5-minute rounds. And Dave Menne, I would certainly think at this point, ahead on points, fighting against Fabiano Iha. Remember, if we go the distance, our 3 judges, Jeff Mullen from Memphis, Tennessee, Skip Hall from Birmingham, Jim Prejean from here in Lake Charles, Louisiana, will render their decision.
Watch your heels.
Aggressiveness, striking, grappling, all criteria taken into account by our judges if the decision is rendered after the completion of the third 5-minute round. We're almost to the close of round 2. 25 seconds remain.
Fabiano's defense is not as good as it was earlier on in the fight, so the body shots are definitely taking their tolls. He doesn't know where to defend himself, whether the body shots or the head shots, so now almost everything that Dave throws.
Oh, left. He walked right into the punch. 8 seconds remains in round 2. A big knee.
Beautiful knee.
He walked right in to the punch thrown a moment ago by Dave Menne, who also has that right eye swollen to a large degree. But as you will tell me, A swollen eye is a long way from your heart.
Dave Menne, believe me, if you saw him during his fight with Shoney, he looked a lot worse than that, and there was no stop in him. So that eye is definitely not going to slow him down, and it's a good thing it's his right eye because he's left side. He fights with his left side forward, so he'll still be able to see the shots coming with no problem.
There you saw Iha jumping up, trying to bring Menne down, and Menne put him down with some emphasis. And once he got down, combinations, Pat, body then the head.
It's a beautiful thing.
And there, beautiful combination, hands then foot.
You saw the kick land to the liver, and Fabiano definitely felt that. I saw him look over his corner and tell him something. He definitely was hurt by that kick to the liver.
Round number 3, Menne and Iha. Already 2 great lightweight battles in the books. Now, you had mentioned a moment ago, Pat, that Iha's defense is not as effective as it was earlier in the fight. Is that because of uncertainty or because conditioning is starting to run out?
I think a little of both. The body shots are adding up. He's fatiguing. He's been out of his element quite a bit during the fight on his feet and a little nervous. That all adds up. And, you know, when you start drilling people in the body, it doesn't hurt for a while, but when they start to add up, the ribs get very tender, start getting the wind knocked out of you. And you'd almost rather get hit in the head than in the body.
And how about the feeling of uncertainty? Where does that come in?
Well, I think he knows he's losing the fight. He's starting to get desperate. He's taking shots and just trying anything he can to get in. Early on, he took Dave down. I don't think Dave realized how strong he was. Like I said, Fabiano looks a lot bigger than he had been in the past, but Dave's adjusted now to popping his hips in a little harder when Fabiano shoots, so he's not having a problem stopping the takedowns.
How do you have the fight scored thus far?
I see Dave dominating the fight without a problem.
Unanimous decision.
Unanimous, without a fight. When you've got a fighter that's jumping to his guard, he's obviously he's getting desperate, and the blows that have landed are convincing.
So desperation rather than uncertainty, and fatigue a factor with Iha.
Yeah.
Although he is in superb condition, 3-12. But he's got to do something here. And it is continuing to be a Dave Menne night.
Nice knee there, too.
I'll tell you, Fabiano's doing a good job, though. He's taking some punishment, and he's obviously in good condition to take those shots.
Boy, he keeps moving, keeps bouncing.
Well, I'll tell you, anyone who walks into this particular venue, the Octagon, the world-famous Octagon, and the gate closes behind them, and they're the only 2 gentlemen standing inside these padded and gated walls other than John McCarthy, is already a warrior.
Yeah, I've got respect for anybody who's got the guts to climb in here. It's definitely a unique feeling to be inside the cage.
There it is again, that quick, boom, boom. Ribs head. Right side, left side, almost as if he were a machine.
And he's got him positioned perfectly against the fence. Iha's head has nowhere to go. It's a stationary target now.
It's a good thing. Dave's doing a great job, same side. It's also a good thing to go to the body with the right hand, up to the head with the left. Crisscrossing punches high and low.
He switched his routine there and threw an elbow and threw a punch right down, Pat, and they both connected.
Dave's a sneaky devil.
I'll tell you what, Dave is having a wonderful UFC debut. And Iha showing great courage and guts with 1 minute 35 seconds remaining in round number 3. Ducks under that one, but takes a knee and another.
Dave's known for opening up at the end of fights. He's, no matter what, if he's convincingly winning, he knows he's got it won, he'll open up for the crowd. So watch for a severe slugfest if Fabiano gives him the opportunity. Look out.
So buckle up here in the last 71 seconds.
He's known for opening up.
Menne and Fabiano Iha tried to fake with the right, throws down his opponent. And again, working it diligently.
Under a minute now.
This is Dave Menne's unanimous decision unless something crazy happens in the next 47 seconds.
Yeah. I think Fabiano was frustrated over here in the last round when he was landing the uppercuts. Or in the first round, he was landing some beautiful uppercuts, and I'm sure he thought, my God, what do I have to do to hurt this guy? Because they weren't doing hard uppercuts.
Doing good.
And didn't make Dave blink. Beautiful punches.
Nice combinations. He hasn't let up a bit on any of that.
Pulver, Cook, and now Menne, just showing us the depth that is within the lightweight division. And there's your flurry at the end. He wants it to be a TKO or a knockout. He may run out of time on that, but he will get the decision. Dave Menne, dominant against Fabiano Iha.
Good job, baby. Good job. You all right?
How about that, Pat Miletich?
Well, I really thought that Dave would definitely do that. I thought that Dave would finish him. So Fabiano did a great job of hanging in there. He really took some punishment and did a good job. And if I may, I'd like to say hello to everybody back in the Quad Cities watching the fight, and say hello to my fiance, Lynn Bergeron.
Well, you and Lynn, congratulations. And if she'll allow you to continue to defend your title, we would love to have you do it. Look at the replays here, Pat. I mean, just punishment of different varieties imposed upon Iha.
And you see the wrestler with the advantage with the front headlock working the knees and things like that. The Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys don't quite understand that.
Well, Pat, we thank you for joining us in the booth. It's always a pleasure. We wish you well with your training. We wish you well with your fiance, and we look forward again to seeing you here at the UFC.
Thank you, Jeff.
You bet.
Pat, thank you very much. Pat Miletich, our lightweight champion, seeing one of the guys who is managed by the same man Pat is, Monty Cox, impressive in his UFC debut. A wrestler for years, showing the ability to strike. Our judges are continuing to render the official decision. The fighters will come into the middle of the ring, and Bruce Buffer will tell us who has officially won this lightweight match between Iha and Dave Menne. For the official results, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of pure action, the judges have made a decision. For the winner, Dave Menne!
Dave Menne, winner by unanimous decision. The 25-year-old from Forest Lake, Minnesota, doing an absolutely spectacular job in what guts and courage shown by his opponent, Fabiano Iha, who did not run out of gas in this one. He was absolutely a warrior, hanging in, but losing the decision. 2000 is now upon us, and we will continue to be the Super Bowl of Mixed Martial Arts. The original Mixed Martial Arts Tournament will continue on April 21st. And we will have a wonderful card for you on that particular evening, featuring Tito Ortiz and Eugene Jackson, not fighting each other, but Tito Ortiz and Eugene Jackson both fighting that night. And Tito will fight Vanderlei Silva for the now vacated UFC Middleweight Championship of the World, with Frank Shamrock's decision a few months ago to retire. So we will next reconvene April 21st, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, with Tito Ortiz and Eugene Jackson amongst the fighters on the card. And the middleweight belt will be up for grabs that night when Tito Ortiz, the Huntington Beach man, will be inside the octagon. Let's go backstage to James Wormy.
Dave Menne, we're joined by Dave Menne. Congratulations, your first win inside the octagon.
Thank you. Thank you.
How'd it go? Your first time? Was it everything you thought it would be?
Yeah, I've had a lot of fights. It's first time pay-per-view in the U.S. Pick that out. So it's a little added pressure. I got people at home watching me, people around the country that I know. It's a little added pressure, but try to take the fight. I would have liked to. My stand-up's a little tight. I had a submission grappling tournament a week ago. Haven't been able to strike for about 2 weeks, so I feel a little off on my hands. Felt a lot off on my hands, actually. But I won the fight. I thought I won it decisively, so you know, I'd like to do better next time, be a little more impressive, but we've got to take it as it comes.
Dave, the right eye is a little puffy. Did that hinder you at all inside the octagon?
A little bit. Surprisingly enough, it was from my thumb. I got contacts too, and it dug my contact out at the same time. I mean, he didn't try to do it. It just happened that his thumb came and hit my eye. So I felt it go into my eye, and then hindered me a little bit. Actually, that's why it happened, I think, late in the second round, and I didn't want to stand with him as much. And if you notice in my guard, I turned my head down on him so he couldn't hit it anymore because I didn't want it to puff up on me. So there's a little strategy in there, kind of slowed my fight down a little bit.
Dave, congratulations on your first win in the UFC. Back to Jeff and Goldie.
Well, thank you very much. James Wormy backstage with a very strong lightweight performer. And how about this man, Tito Ortiz? When he fought Frank Shamrock and others, Tito worked his way through the Lion's Den with victories and worked his way here in September of '99 in the middleweight championship. Many consider, myself included, this middleweight title bout in Lake Charles back in September the greatest fight in UFC history. But the guns were not smoking that night for Tito, as in the end, this man defeated by Frank Shamrock, but a respectful Tito Ortiz indeed, sitting next to my partner, Jeff Platnick. Jeff?
Thank you, Mike. And Tito, it's always a pleasure to see you. Congratulations on all your successes. And I want to go back to that Shamrock fight.
Nah, that was a fun one for me. It was kind of a learning experience for myself, going out there and against Frank, 5-time world champ. But I went out there and gave everything I had. It was everything I had through my heart. And when I left satisfied. It was a loss, but deep inside, I gave everything I could, and Frank took it. So he came out on top that night.
What did you learn from that fight, from that experience?
Learning to relax a lot more, not really going out there to dominate and just nonstop push, just more relax a little bit. I'll still use the same techniques, but relax in different positions and catch my breath and not really blow my whole stuff out the first time.
Well, the old cliche, war makes strange bedfellows, and all of a sudden you and Frank Shamrock have formed an association of some kind. Tell us about that.
Well, actually, I believe Frankie wanted to go ahead and step out and work on some stuff at home. I thought I'd go out and work with him because he is the best in the world, so I thought I'd make myself a better athlete by working with Frank and working with Scott Adams, who won later on tonight, and Chuck Liddell and John Lewis. But I think I'll just learn a little bit of the old type of fighting from him, so hopefully.
Well, you also had great success at Abu Dhabi, 4 submissions while you were over there. Is this a new dimension you're going to add to your striking and takedown abilities?
Actually, in the octagon, I like to be an entertainer. I want to go out and I want to give everybody a show. I mean, I don't want to go out there and make it a quick submission. I want to go out and pound on the guy and have everybody get to have a real nice show out there.
And why don't you give us a little bit about April 21st? You're going to be having an opportunity again for the middleweight title against Vanderlei Silva. Yeah. What are your thoughts on your opponent there?
Vanderlei, I believe he's one of the top guys at middleweight right now. That's going to be a good challenge for me. Every one of my fights, seems like I never get an easy guy. So Vanderlei will be one of the tough in the world, and hopefully I'll come on top.
Well, thanks, Tito. Let's go back to Mike Goldberg.
Thank you very much.
All right, Tito's going to stay with us and help us work this next fight as they are working it here in Lake Charles, Louisiana, as they love seeing the stars of yesterday, today, and we are being introduced tonight to some of the stars of tomorrow with impressive showings by Dave Menne and others. Jermaine Andre is getting set to take on Lance Gibson in our 4th fight, a middleweight fight, and thus Tito Ortiz will stay with us as our 3rd man in the booth and help us to call this particular matchup. Jermaine Andre has incredible strength, a 600-pound squat, 400-pound bench press, and his opponent Lance Gibson is managed by Matt Hume, who is spectacular in the corner. Jermaine Andre, who lives 4 hours south of Pat Militich's gym in St. Louis. His prediction on tonight's fight.
In this fight, you never know. I mean, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. You know, I'm going to step in there and I might just go straight into him. Depends on the energy, you know, what kind of aura he's putting out. I might dance around a little bit, you know, if he looks like he's getting ready to try and shoot in. So even, I don't know. You know, when I fight, it's instinctive. I train, I get the car tuned and I put it in the garage. And when race day comes, I pull it out and it runs on its own and does what it's supposed to do.
So Jermaine Andre, a Muay Thai fighter who loves to go for broke.
And being that Muay Thai fighter, he's going to have not only hands, but look for elbows and knees. And he's got some experience, so with that power, could be very dangerous.
2-0 in mixed martial arts competition. His opponent, a Canadian, originally born in Toronto, now living in Port Moody, British Columbia, looking forward tonight for an opportunity to showcase his skills.
It's important to me to be in the UFC, definitely, because it's the first time, as I said, the hometown crowd to see me. Like, it's just very important that I can showcase my skills and everybody in North America can see. Especially this is the event biggest in the world, so it's an honor to be here. So it's very important that I go here and showcase my skills.
Well, Lance Gibson Jr., or Lance Gibson Sr., his son Lance Gibson Jr. watching from their home in Vancouver, British Columbia. Versatile athlete, comfortable either grappling or striking. He wants to showcase his skills for the North Americans. He lives in the most beautiful city in North America. Gibson, his discipline, pancration. Andre, Muay Thai, which means he can kick with the best of them. And a little bit of a weight differential, but just 9 pounds, as Gibson is 2 years older. For the official introductions, back inside to Bruce Buffer.
Our next fight is a middleweight fight consisting of 3 5-minute rounds. Beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a Muay Thai expert with a mixed martial arts record of 2-0. Standing 5 feet, 7 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds, and fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri. Please welcome Jermaine Andre. And his opponent, standing to my right. He is an expert in the sport of pancration who is now making his octagon debut. Standing 5 feet, 9 inches tall, weighing in at 194 pounds, fighting out of Port Moody, British Columbia. Please welcome Lance Gibson Sr.
So we get set for Jermaine Andre and Lance Gibson Sr., our first middleweight fight of the night. Big John McCarthy will get this one started.
All right, gentlemen, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Well, let's get it on. Come on, get out.
I don't know there, Mike. This looks like to be a good one. Lance Gibson, I know I watched some of his tapes, and he's a pretty tough fighter. So we'll see what happens.
I am looking forward to it. Can these middleweight bouts be as good as the lightweight so far tonight, Tito?
I don't know. I hope so. After Tiki's show, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, Tiki put on a show, defeated in the end. So Frankie got you one more time, Tito.
Lucky.
I look at this as grappler striker. Look for Gibson, who is very good at submissions to bring it down to the ground. And Jermaine Andre is known for being a wild, big throwing striker. Thus far, he hasn't gotten anything off yet.
Well, easy way to do that, just to smother the strikes, as you see right there. Work against the fence, it's great. You don't want to keep your head against the fence because you get strikes from that position.
So in the red shorts, Jermaine Andre, Lance Gibson Sr. working from within Andre's guard as we speak. This fight, as they have all been tonight, non-title fight, 3 5-minute rounds. Oh, from the backside, a quick jab.
Right hand by Andre there. It looked like Gibson wanted to back out, and he caught him.
Now, one thing we talked about Pat Miletich and his ability to be a great tactician and a cornerman. Matt Hume is also considered one of the most spectacular trainers to have in your corner, and he is working with Lance Gibson Sr.
Actually, he is a very good cornerman. He did me in Abu Dhabi, and he did wonders for me.
How much of a difference does that make, Tito?
100%. Just having someone extra eyes on the side of the mat looking at you at all times. It's great.
And how about when you're fatigued and you're losing your concentration because of fatigue? Can you pinpoint to that voice again?
Keep your knee in tight. Keep your knee in tight.
Yep, every single
Knee on the
time.
hip.
It's good positions at all times.
Knee on the hips. Bring your other leg through. Put his head down with your left arm. There you go. Put his head down with that arm. Now come through. Come through.
That's just like another voice behind you talking to you. So as long as you can always hear that and always listening to that position,
Side
it works
mount.
well.
Got to the side. Good position to strike from.
Now, what I was told today, too, is that not just come on, be hard, have warrior mentality, qualities. When you are told by your corner a technique to look for or use, a more decisive terminology, that is even more so a helpful asset in a fight.
Oh, yes. And the thing of using time, of the guy keeping track of time and seeing how much time's into the round where he could explode, win it by the last 30 seconds of the round.
No time to look up at a shot clock inside the octagon.
No, not in the octagon. Maybe in the boxing ring, but not in the octagon.
So 2:03 remains in round number one. Lance Gibson Sr. and Jermaine Andre, both making debuts.
Side mount again, opportunity here.
We should be striking with elbows from that position. It'll be working well.
Point there, bringing that elbow down into the ribs would work.
Working knees and elbows in that position. We should be striking and scoring.
Jermaine 9-1 in matches where striking on the ground was not allowed. 2-0 in UFC style ruling.
We have yet to see anything from Andre. His reputation is of explosiveness. Thus far, it's been trying to keep Gibson in his guard.
Well, actually, I see Gibson just pretty much smothering everything he's tried. Jermaine Andre's, his strong points are pretty much his stand-up, and Lance Gibson has stopped from that. So he's doing his own world right now with Lance. So working shorter elbows like that work well for me. It looks like it works good for him too if he uses them. Working knees with this position is probably the best bet. There you go.
Final
armbar right here. There it is. It's he got out.
He did get out. He spun through it, Tito.
Yes.
You thought it was over, didn't you?
Yep. That was almost close. He almost had it, but.
Well, look how powerful Andre is. And
God, he's a stout guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, a 400-pound bench. Tight. Big push. Left hand. The left hand.
He's almost out.
Trying to finish it. And McCarthy's right there. Trying to spin away. It's Gibson Sr.
It's not over yet.
They're going to run out of time here. The time's going to go.
I think it survived.
Oh, my.
That's a war right there. That's what you guys at home like to see is that.
Wow, you want to talk about entertaining.
That was great. That's what we pay our money for to see UFC is right there.
And I do believe that the reputation about Andre is 100% true. Boy, did he explode. Wow.
There you go. You can see this armbar. He set it up, and it looked nice. He had it all the way through, but look, he rolled out because he didn't hook his arm over.
Spoken from a guy now that I understand is learning that move pretty good.
Yep, arm bars, leg locks, trying to learn them all.
What forced
here we
you
go.
into that?
Nice good toe-to-toe. This is what you guys pay for. Bam. Overhand right coming right here. Ooh, missed.
It sounded like, or it seemed like there was a sense of urgency by Jermaine Andre, when he got up, that he really needed to do something. And in 3 punches, bang, right
bang,
there, and then that one there, it changed everything.
Right there.
Oh, that lefty really did it.
Left hook. That was a good punch.
Now look for Andre now perhaps to come out, but the big question about Andre also,
let's get it on.
Come on, his conditioning.
Yep.
Well, we'll have to see now whether or not that was just one moment or that's going to be a direction he can continue.
Yeah, this is what you see if you have his heart. If you can come back after getting hit with multiple blows like that. So let's see if he can come back with his heart. He looks fine.
Round 2 between Jermaine Andre and Lance Gibson. Gibson in the black trunks, Andre in the red.
Both doing good. Keep it working, guys.
Both had their moments in the first round. Gibson seemed to control it much longer, but Andre at the end may have gotten it to a draw.
Yeah, that's the last 30 seconds where you need to push it. That's where you can win it with the judges in the last 30 seconds of every round. Right here, Lance needed to work a takedown because I wouldn't want to stand it up with him. Andre's good at the strikes, so.
Seems he's also slowing down. You wonder if he punched himself out in a big flurry. Whoa.
I don't know about that. He looks
Nice
strong.
Power.
Oh.
Watch your heads.
Use your shoulder.
Spin out.
Get your underhooks. Pummel.
Spin out.
Pummel.
Spin out. Don't let him dig his
So
arms
good to
underneath
see how
his
much
arms
the
in
fighters
tight.
changed from the
Forearms
later
into his chest,
UFCs.
bud.
They've gotten a
Don't let
lot
him dig
better.
underneath you.
You hear Pat Miletich, our lightweight champion, yelling instructions to his fighter, Andre.
Right in this position, I'd imagine Jermaine Andre needs to work underhooks there in that position to get out from the fence, maybe circle around.
You certainly want to go over the head. Gibson can move around that side, create an opening there.
Work it out.
Conditioning now starting to play a part of this. You go anaerobic too long, you riggy out.
Work your way out. Looking good, guys.
You know, interesting on Lance Gibson Sr. He's up at 8 o'clock in the morning, takes his son with him. They go to the gym, they both meditate. Even though his son Lance Jr. is only 5 years old, he's been training him since he was 2. They go through yoga together, do a bunch of cardio, eat breakfast. Real great relationship between father and son there, working and opening a gym in Vancouver, Lance Gibson Sr.
I was going to say, Lance Gibson is very proud of that senior end. He wanted us to make sure we said Lance Gibson Sr.
That is because he has a Lance Gibson Jr., which you'll know about someday, young Tito, but not anytime soon.
I'll be getting married June 17th, so we'll be working on
All our great fighters are losing the big battle. Believe me, it'll be the one fight you always lose, the one with your bride. And if you learn that quick, Tito, you'll get along with her a lot better.
I've been with her for 5 years now, so I've already learned that one.
There you go. No secrets, right?
No, not at all.
Gibson Sr. continuing to keep Andre against the fence,
Nice
using
punch
these.
combo.
Andre, big right hand.
Like the right hand was connected.
Gibson
Overhand
Sr.
rights right here.
Back the other way.
Spin out so you can use your hip.
Uppercut glances off the chin.
Working a headlock. Careful, that stuff may not be too tight enough. Oh, working him out. Back in the guard. In the half guard position from here. He should be working for the pass. Working for strikes in that position.
Like to try to snake the right leg through, put the knee in the belly, rise up and come down.
Yep, he's working right there. All he needs to do is slide it up. There he goes pushing, push across, and he'll slide his knee down.
You know, they always say the UFC is where the big boys come to play, and their playpen is the octagon. Some big boys have put on some big performances here tonight.
Good work, guys.
Top to bottom, Jeff, this is as good of a full card as we have had in the UFC throughout my time with you, partner.
He's got an entrapped arm there, trying to extend it.
The American lock right there working. I see him talking to his corner. And
he muscled him off.
Well, that's incredible.
He did a
strength of
fly.
Andre.
He did a pet move there. Just simply rooted him off of him. You're right, Mike. This has been a great evening of action.
Every one of these fights have been action-packed all the way through.
Let's go.
And you gotta believe, being first-timers, the adrenaline's high, and they just want to give the best show they can.
Yep, going to war.
As you and I sat together and broke down fight after fight, Jeff, on game day as it is, as we always do, we both agreed that many times the best performance of a fighter is his first time in the octagon because of the
Don't turn away. Don't turn away. Turn into it. Turn into it,
That,
Jermaine.
and they want to have that good performance, thinking they'll be brought back. And certainly we've seen some fighters we want to see come back tonight. What a good round there, too. It's a little slower than the first,
I'd have to give that round to Jermaine myself. That was good. He worked a lot of well striking positions against the fence.
Dig your arms under when he pushes you up the cage, and don't let him push you up there because you can't use your hips, okay? Push him up against the cage, then you can push off whatever you want.
Ooh, that elbow right there.
Pat Miletich there, you can hear him saying, don't get pinned up against the fence. It's a lot like boxing against the ropes. Your hips are suddenly out of it because you're leaning. And there was the attempt by Gibson at the trapped arm, and watch this. One arm, see you later, literally pushes him off, clears the arm, and gets out of that submission threat.
Off position, okay? Step those angles. Don't let him push you straight back. Step angles, okay?
Keep me up on time.
Gibson, nobody has any real marks.
Remember.
Well, after that first round, looks like Lance pretty much came back and got his head back into it.
I would agree with that 100%, Tito.
You ready? Are you
Here's
ready?
the last round.
Let's
This is
get
where it
off.
comes out
Let's
to.
get off. Come on.
I'd say it's an even fight right now.
Yes, exactly.
Gibson Sr.
Oh! Got it in there.
Nice straight kick.
And you got to know that hurt.
A little smile on the face of Jermaine Andre. Knows he landed one. Now he's going for the left. Backing away is Gibson nicely.
Jermaine Andre's cardio looks mighty well. He doesn't even look tired out there. He looks fresh.
27 and 29-year-old warriors inside our octagon. The ultimate finishing school, the House of Guts and Glory.
Gibson using the fence as a weapon, bringing up Andre's back to it and keeping him pinned up against it. Crowding him, as you said, Tito, smothering his offense.
Andre, the newest member of the Extreme Challenge competition team, which is 15-3-1 coming into tonight inside the octagon. With Pat Miletich a perfect 5-0 and Laverne Clark a perfect 3-0.
Working that old Marco Rujas foot stomp there.
Haven't seen that in a while.
That was the old wrestling game we used to play for quick feet. If you get stomped on, you're too planted.
Yep. He'll be feeling that in the morning.
Now you're a wrestler at heart, Tito. You know about that. There it is again.
Yeah, he's moving the foot now, too. What he should do is, as he stomps, his foot sweep the other side.
Now a short knee to the inside thigh.
He's working the body lock in that position. Maybe pull him out. As for Jermaine Andre, I've been trying to work underhooks and circle off the fence.
Now Gibson Sr. is well decorated with tattoos, and on the back it says Fearless. On his shorts it says Franco Gibson Pancration. There you see it, Fearless. Stenciled on the back permanently of Lance Gibson Sr.
Once you step in the octagon, you shouldn't be fearless at all, man, because this is war out here.
And Gibson content to keep him up against the fence.
So he's circling with that body lock and be good.
He's not really taking advantage, and he takes a risk at looking at his corner, and he gets smacked.
There you go, body lock.
Oh!
Nice footstep.
225.
Now Lance Gibson holding the body lock from here. He may burn his arms out by holding on too long. Those foot stomps are maybe small, but in repetition of using a bunch, they sure do hurt.
So 155 remains in this great matchup on this great night.
Now, the one thing that Gibson's doing is he's controlling the fight in terms of pushing it against the fence, but there's not a lot of scoring going on.
Popping with the hips and hand inside.
If I was Gibson, I'd be trying to work for a takedown or something, maybe come out and strike.
Let's go, Jermaine, open up. Let's go, Jermaine.
There we go, let's see. Oh, he's out. Oh, elbow, or excuse me.
Looked like a left knee.
Yes, left knee to the chin. That one caught him straight on the chin. He's all right, though. You see him? Yeah, he's okay.
Lance Gibson Sr. at 3:37 of the third round.
Wow, that was a nice knee. Caught him with his head down.
Well, You have to say something for patience. He didn't try to rush anything, force anything. He was able to go ahead and do that knee after really almost 2 minutes up against that fence. Right there.
Bam, right in the chin. I see Jermaine Andre, he looks all right. He's moving down there, so he looks like he's okay.
And Big John McCarthy in there quickly before any other kind of strike can come in.
That's the best on John McCarthy, looking out for the fighters. That's what a good job he's doing in the inside for all of us.
He's the best in the business.
Yep, that's why we have him.
You got it. The Super Bowl gets the super referee, and Big John jumps right in, and Lance Gibson Sr. making Lance Jr. back at home in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. Very proud of Papa in his UFC debut.
That was a great comeback for Lance in the first round. I don't know about that, but then kind of turned up the heat right at the end and caught him with that nice knee, straight left knee. That was great.
I'll tell you what, both fighters in this middleweight championship, spectacular here this evening. Let's go back and look at the early part of this matchup tonight between Andre and Gibson. This is early in the fight, first round.
Kick, and they exchange blows right away, and it looked as though this was really going to be a big-time fight, and then it just seemed that Jermaine exploded, hit him with that left hook, and Gibson goes down.
Put a couple combinations together with a left hook and a right hand.
And then we take you to the end of the fight, Jeff and Tito.
Right here, he circles to the outside, he looks with the head, bam, throws a left knee right to the chin, and he's out right from that position.
And Big John McCarthy, always the ultimate safety of our fighters. The first concern, his heart is intact. The decision becomes official. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by knockout at 3 minutes, 37 seconds. Fearless Lance Gibson Sr.
Well, it looks like I'll be doing some homework on Lance Gibson, man. He looks damn sharp right there, so yeah, may have a little extra opponent.
Dr. Richard Istrico and his staff continuing to attend to Jermaine Andre. He's fine, just trying to get some of his wind and oxygen back. And he will walk out defeated in the third round. Tito Ortiz, we look forward to seeing you live back inside the octagon.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it very much.
On April 21st, as Tito Ortiz will fight for the middleweight championship of the world, vacated by the man who just gave him a big hug behind him, Frank Shamrock. Tito Ortiz will fight Vanderlei Silva on April 21st, and also another one of the top middleweight contenders, Eugene Jackson, a perfect 2-0 inside the octagon, will look for his third victory in the UFC, April 21st, 9 p.m. right here on your home for mixed martial arts, your local cable operator and satellite provider. Lance Gibson, impressive backstage with our third man on our crew tonight, James Wormy. James?
Lance Gibson, congratulations. First trip inside the octagon, first win inside the octagon.
Oh man, I was happy to be here. First of all, I want to thank my biggest fans, my mom and dad, my Lance Jr. out there, my little babies, Matt Hume from AMC, Franco Gibson, Ryan and Chris, everybody back at home watching me in Port Moody, BC. I love you all. Man, it's an honor to be here. It's a tough fight.
Quite a seesaw battle out there, Lance. It looked like he had you a little bit in the beginning, but you came back very strong.
Yeah, you know, I just came out there, I felt a little sluggish with my punches. He caught me a couple good ones I couldn't see after the first round, but my son's my inspiration. I just kept on going. I knew I had to do this for him and my family.
Any special words for Lance Jr. at home?
Boy, I love you. I'm going to get that silver Power Ranger for you when I get back there.
Lance, was it your plan to swing, or did you want to go to the ground?
No, usually I come and start punching, but
take a look at it right here.
Oh, there he is. I caught him with the knee inside. The knees of the body started hurting him, so I thought I could pop to the head a little later. And luckily it worked out, man, from the best today. And I hope he's okay. Tough guy, hits hard.
Well, that's a solid left knee. Did you knew you were going to pack the knees, or what were you planning?
My knee is one of my specialties, but I was going to work his body. He's Muay Thai, so he was blocking him pretty good. But I got him in the end. I knew he'd start getting tired out, and I caught him. I'm lucky. It's my night tonight.
Lance, try to explain to us what it feels like the first time to be walking out there, the lights, the cameras, the arena, what it's like to be in the UFC for the first time.
The UFC for the first time is the biggest event in the world, and I'm just happy to be here. It's an honor to be here, one of the best athletes in the world, and come here and showcase my skills. And I'll come back next time and do it again. You know, I love it. I just love fighting for these guys. UFC is the greatest.
Lance Gibson, 1-0 in the octagon. Back to you, Goldie and Jeff.
Well, thank you very much, Worm, and I'll tell you what, the middleweight division looks like it is as deep as the lightweights, and there is the middleweight champion of the UFC. It started in Japan, the quick armbar of Kevin Jackson. It continued against Igor Zinoviev in his first title defense. And then the man they're going crazy about here went toe-to-toe in Lake Charles with Tito Ortiz. Frank Shamrock are now retired middleweight champion of the world. Title defenses abundant. He is the meanest man under 200 pounds on this entire continent. You okay watching that stuff?
I'm mean.
You are not timid, let's just say that. Marriage has not chilled you out, has it?
I don't think so.
But it did bring forth retirement. This is the first time Jeff and I have been able to talk to you personally about it. Give us the update, and is there a chance that somehow, some way, we could beg you to come back?
Yeah, there's always a chance. I'm a fighter. What else would I do with all my time? I got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm acting and teaching and training, and I just love my life. You get someone in there that that I want to get up on, and I'll take care of it.
I figured you would. Was it just time to get away from it, Frank? Because it had really dominated your life, training for fight after fight after fight.
Yeah, it's been the last 5 years, and I did 30-something fights in those years, and they're hard fights. You see the guys out. There's no secrets anymore. It's all hard work, and people are taking hard shots and doing hard. It's a hard job. You need time off, and I'm taking my time.
Blacks?
Well, certainly you've seen Tito Ortiz, you know him, you seem to form, as he said, an association. In a way now you're sharing your skill knowledge to better him. How is that going to benefit you?
Well, it all benefits me because I'm, never going to fight Tito again because I already beat him up. But, we're all trying to help each other. This is a sport, and if we don't help each other grow, we're not going to get recognized. It's not going to be a sport. These guys are professional athletes. They need to train that way. They need to fight hard. Win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter to me. We're all here having a good time. Jermaine got knocked out, but he was kicking ass, and then he got knocked out. That's just the way the game goes.
Well, you seem to have turned your attention now, instead of training yourself to be a champion, training others. You had two fighters, Velasquez and Cook here. Who else do you have in the pipeline?
Man, I got tons of guys. This is just the top of the crop. Bob's my top guy. He's been with me the longest. I've got young Kelly. I got a whole group of fighters just waiting to have their shot, and you see my guys got balls. They go for it. It's all about pleasing the crowd, going for the win, taking chances. This is a sport, and they're getting it on, and that's what it's all about.
It was interesting. You and I were talking this afternoon, and you said, you know what, Mike, I'm pretty good at this coaching stuff. Is it just instinctive to you?
I don't know.
He said it humbly. Usually he'll make comments like that, but he was being a little humble.
No, but honestly, I got a knack for it. I got a knack for teaching. I enjoy it. I enjoy the process of people learning. That gives me a lot of pleasure. Watch these guys fight. It's so stressful, and I feel like I'm having a heart attack. But at the same time, it's so rewarding to see them doing their thing, getting it on, and and doing what I showed them. And I just love it.
Everyone in wrestling that I've ever talked to said it's 20 times harder for them to coach somebody nerve-wise than actually go through it themselves when they're the athlete.
Being on the outside is the worst.
It's certainly, hey, I got to get one from you because we're going to keep you around for a little while, but we know your record inside the octagon. You've never been beaten. You've been married almost a year. You know what I'm going to say. What's your record with your wife Angie in the fight?
I know.
Oh, man.
What's your record?
It's like 0-0. We're still battling it out. But she's got me in shape.
She does indeed, and she has others in shape too, Frank. And I'll tell you what, it has just been so spectacular this evening to see new guys, because I think those at home see the fight card and they go, well, who are these people? And then you see them inside the octagon, and they are all spectacular. How about those 3 lightweight fights?
Awesome. And it's the second generation. This is the generation behind the last generation, and I'm training guys, Tito's training guys. We got history, and it's exciting. I want to say hi to my boy. I want to say hi to Frankie, as he said he'd watch me tonight.
Absolutely.
Well, we're enjoying watching you grow now as a coach, and certainly I hope down the road here, if things can change on the political environment concerning the UFC, we're going to see you back in the octagon again.
Well, if anyone can change it, I'll change it, so I'm working 100% on it. And I'll make some movies. You guys can watch my movies.
Hey, we watched you on TV.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. Now he's being humble again. Chuck Norris kicked your butt. What are you talking about?
No. He barely got me. I went through like 8, barely got me at the end, but he did get me.
Well, you said, which was a great comment, you said, this is a guy I grew up just idolizing. Now all of a sudden you're having a little fun in there.
Oh, it was amazing. Amazing to meet him and work with him, and I got so much respect from him. He's a real person. That's really who he is. The guy you see in there, it's really Chuck Norris, and that's hard to find. Good people.
Jeff, so is Frank Shamrock, though. That's the one thing.
I'm egotistical. I'm cocky. I'm self-centered.
All right. Well, we know you're living up there in Northern California, and I understand that you're going to be hopefully moving down to LA. Those are your plans.
Yeah.
Now, you're planning to open up a school down there?
We're going to open up a school. We're going to open up more of a training center, I think, for everybody. More of an athlete kind of deal, as opposed to martial arts. I think the athlete needs to be developed in the martial artist. So that's what I'm going to go after.
Well, and Angie, of course, her expertise, and we'll brag on your wife a little bit, is conditioning.
Incredible.
You want to talk about a personal trainer. She helped your cardio increase, and you had good cardio early in your career.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. Plyometric-wise, strength and conditioning-wise, movement, flexibility. She's just, she's got all the knowledge. She's more than willing to help us, and we're not good students. But she's a doll. She's a sweetheart. And like I said, she whipped me into shape. And you saw what she did with these guys. These guys are tough. So the future looks good for us.
Frank, when Jeff and I walk through Hollywood a year from now, and you have those glasses on with the shades.
I'm never going to get there.
You got 5 Rolexes on.
Cement.
Yeah. His name is Jeff. I'm Mike, okay?
Yeah, please don't forget.
Just get the name tag so I get it right.
And at 42, if you need a guy to beat up in one of those shows, go ahead and call my name. I'd love to be part of it.
One of our favorite guys, one of our greatest champions ever. Frank Shamrock. Perhaps someday we will see him back inside the octagon. I'll tell you what, a great night indeed. It started with some great preliminary fights. Let's go to the Wayback Machine. And we have our first lightweight bout of the evening, a preliminary fight between Shoney Carter and Brad Gum, as both of these young fighters make their UFC debuts tonight here in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Shoney Carter, wealth of experience as a mixed martial artist. Boxed when he was young, did some wrestling, some judo, even got into a little San Chow, Chinese kickboxing. He has a 28-3-4 record in mixed martial arts.
And here comes Brad Gum. He is 22 years old. He is from Colorado. As you can see, he is sporting the gi, as he is well versed in both Japanese and Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Started out in karate before moving on and learning the ground game, jiu-jitsu now being one of his favorites, and he enjoys Vale Tudo. In other words, in Brazil, anything goes.
All right, Brad Gum, what are his strengths? Well, his ground fighting is his specialty. He's comfortable with striking, and being a jiu-jitsu fighter, he's well conditioned.
Obviously, he's going to want to try to bring it down to the ground, use some of those submission skills.
Shoney Carter claims a very experienced 28-3-4 record in mixed martial arts. He's a combat and jiu-jitsu fighter, making his UFC debut. He's a kickboxer, jiu-jitsu, and wrestling specialist throughout his training as he gets set to enter the octagon for the first time in his UFC career.
Really an extensive background in the martial arts, and in terms of overall experience, Shoney Carter really does have some on Brad Gum.
Extremely versatile. He's fought in many types of competitions, and he can take a punch. We'll see if Brad Gum has some punches to deliver to Shoney Carter. Our tale of the tape for our preliminary matchup between Carter and Gum. It looks like this. The jiu-jitsu man at 27 years old, 5'9", 166 pounds, against another jiu-jitsu specialist in Brad Gum, 22 years old, 5'11", and 3 pounds heavier in the weigh-ins. For the official introduction of our preliminary lightweight matchup of the evening, we enter the octagon to our veteran voice. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first bout of the evening is a preliminary lightweight bout consisting of 2 rounds, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a Japanese Bushido and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert with a mixed martial arts record of 10-2. Standing 5 feet, 11 inches tall, weighing in at 169 pounds, and fighting out of Littleton, Colorado. Please welcome to the octagon, Brad Gum! And his opponent standing to my right. He is a jiu-jitsu expert with a mixed martial arts record of 28, 3, and 4. Standing 5 feet, 9 inches tall, weighing in at 166 pounds, and fighting out of Chicago, Illinois. Please welcome Shoney Hurricane Carter! And our referee for this bout is Dan the Beast Severn.
Yeah, how about that? The return of Dan the Beast Severn, the only man to hold 3 different UFC titles in his history. UFC 5, Ultimate 95, and the super fight win when he defeated Ken Shamrock back in 1996. It's great to see Dan the Beast Severn back inside the octagon. He will be our referee for this first lightweight matchup.
And it's always good to see Dan. I grew up with him in wrestling. Great champion, won the Junior Worlds in 1977, All-American at college, and an alternate on the '88 Olympic team.
Now let's see what happens here with these two young men. Shoney Carter with the flash and the dash, and Brad Gum from Colorado.
Nice throw. He had it locked up the whole time. That's called a body lock. He's in a side mount right away. Beauty of a good hip toss is that your opponent lands off of you. You have the opportunity to get to a mounted position, but nice work by Gum in defense to get out. They trade kicks.
Multiple kicks, neither able to land. That one tried to go high, and now low. So Gum very comfortable using his feet. Now our preliminary matchup, 2 5-minute rounds. And if we do not have a winner at that point, high kick blocked off the left arm, we will have our 3 judges render a decision. There's one that got the chest of Shoney Carter. He misses with the left uppercut.
Well, Carter's waiting in, and then at the point, it's Gum that gets off first and keeps Carter from unloading. There again.
Got the leg caught.
See if he can bring him down.
And he does hard.
Triangle. Right away, he's going for a triangle choke. He's going to keep pulling on Carter's head. That's the key to the triangle, pulling down.
Here's where the submission skill of these two fighters comes into place. Trying to land a submission, trying not to be landed.
And he's got it in there pretty good. He's got it locked nice, what we call a figure 4 in wrestling, so that's tight.
Now Carter's got that right arm trying to lodge that.
Oh, he's on his butt now. Carter, I think, is suffering from that choke. Boy, he's got that in there nice and tight. No way for Carter to bring his right arm out and break the lock of the feet.
Trying to spin through it.
Boy, I'll tell you what, look at that. Gum doing a nice job of locking up Carter and now striking him while he's stuck there.
Carter well versed, as I mentioned before, in jiu-jitsu, so he's trying to remain relaxed in this situation.
Exactly, that's the key to defending against the choke, is not panic, continue to work, and this is a good position for him to be in. Carter can get out of that. Nice shot there by Carter.
Look how gassed he is right now, though, Jeff. It took a lot out of him.
You betcha. He was in a tough position, but he maintained, and he doesn't look too bad here, but the way that his body twisted and such, you could tell that Gum had an effect on him with that triangle.
Now, Carter fights a lot of Golden Gloves events. He truly considers himself eclectic with a hybrid style, and he was able to go back to his discipline, jiu-jitsu, to avoid being submitted a moment ago.
That was an impressive defense. That was locked in there as tight as I've seen a triangle in the UFC, and Carter has done a great job.
The corner of Shoney Carter, known as the Hurricane, also calls himself a chameleon because of the diversity of his skills, and Brad Gum showing his
good move on the attempted chokeout that was unsuccessful. The Chicago native against the young man from the mountains.
Better watch it. He's going to go again there. Anytime the hips come up like that and the legs get up by the head, it's going to go triangle or armbar.
1:15 remains in round one. And Carter's really out of breath. And Gum trying to take advantage, but Carter shows.
Again with a beautiful throw. He's had 2 of them now.
1 minute remains in our first of 2 rounds. 2 young men trying to prove themselves inside the octagon here tonight in Lake Charles.
Hasn't mounted yet. Does not have him mounted yet. Now he's in a position to get elevated. Let's see what Gum will do here. He's going to try to pull him towards his head and get Carter up onto his legs, and there he can elevate him.
There's a right to the chin. Just rabbit punches, both guys delivering, one from top, one from bottom. 30 seconds left in round one. Shoney Carter against Brad Gum. Gum on the bottom, Carter with the left. 18 seconds, Carter continuing to look for a flurry. Gum trying to avoid the punches. Dan the Beast Severn, our referee, right there watching things closely. 8 seconds. Carter continuing to land. Misses with the left.
I'm impressed by Carter, able to rebound. He must be a very well-conditioned athlete to have gone through that triangle and have the energy at the end of the round to put that flurry together.
How about that to begin our evening?
I think the crowd likes it. An exciting fight.
This is what you have when you bring guys in for the first time. The momentum and the enthusiasm. And we saw plenty from both fighters in the first 5 minutes.
Carter got in here and caught the leg, and then he's just going to simply pick him up and drop him hard, but he did land in Gum's guard. And because of that, that is when Carter went ahead and started with that triangle choke. But later on, Carter did get his man down, and then he was able to effectively strike with these big bombs to Gum's head.
Shoney Carter from Chicago started wrestling at 12 years old. In fact, he went to a high school in Chicago, Proviso East, that produced NBA players Michael Finley and Sherelle Ford. So he said, you know what, I can't play basketball with him. I'm going to be a fighter. And here he is tonight, fighting for the first time in his UFC career. Brad Gum, the Boss Rutan Invitational lightweight champion, 10-2 in mixed martial arts.
A good flurry there. An attack, a counter, an attack, and a counter, and Carter comes out on top in Gum's guard. And yes, Mike, that is his experience base. Gum is the lightweight champion for the Boss Rutan Invitational. And he's shown some good groundwork here in terms of looking to submit Carter.
Come on, Johnny.
But Carter on his feet now. 3 takedowns, some of them some beautiful throws, some good pounding near the end of that round. But I'll tell you what, it'll be interesting to see how those judges look at the triangle choke. I mean, truly, that was a match-ending threat right there that Carter survived.
High kick blocked by the left. And now Shoney Carter. First time Shoney fought inside a caged area. He lost the fight to Laverne Clark. The very next day, he registered with the United States Boxing Association, and he gets a knee landed there. And now Carter is taking another shot, and another from Brad Gum. But he stays up, so just as I was talking about the striking ability of Laverne Carter, it's Carter who defends himself against a flurry from Brad Gum.
That's right, Laverne Clark has had to do that. He is a big puncher, but Carter got caught there, and Gum followed it up nicely. But once again, Carter weathers the storm. And in an instant, it's a beautiful throw to a side mount.
Do you earn valuable points for weathering storms?
No, but for effective throws like that, you sure do.
Carter's happy to bring it up. I've talked about his boxing background. Gum not as well versed as a striker. Now Brad Gum has to get up. And Dan Severn knows it. Dan Severn, the Beast, our referee.
Gum did the right thing. You never want to jump to your feet because you don't know if the other man's going to come powering in at you. You come up when you know you're going to time it.
Looks like both connected there.
Yes, it did. They've had a number of those where they both got off at the exact same time and hit each other.
I'll tell you what, these two guys are going toe-to-toe. This is what our fighters of tomorrow know they have to do to be stars of today. Inside kick, try to sweep that left leg. High and missed.
The punches now are starting to get a lot of arcing into them, so these guys are getting tired, and rightfully so. It's been a tremendous pace up to now.
It certainly has. 2 5-minute rounds here in our preliminary lightweight matchup.
Carter's judo background is certainly showing itself here. Every time they get to that over-under position, he's dominating the takedown. And he's had a lot of takedowns now, which is going to add some score to him.
Now,
interesting fight.
It certainly is. Gum has always said, Jeff, his strength is probably his ground fighting. He's not uncomfortable on his feet. But his strength is right here, and he's well-versed in the guard, and he has Shoney Carter in his guard right now.
He doesn't want Carter to get up this high and start raining punches down there. He's holding his head.
And that's
by
what
keeping
Carter
the head
did.
down.
Yep, that's what Carter did at the end of the first round, right?
So much of controlling your opponent, correct, Mike? So much of controlling your opponent is controlling your opponent's head. Carter's head is down. He cannot throw really effective punches. He can throw short, less powerful punches, but nothing that's going to do damage like the kind from there. Now, if he throws punches from here, they're going to have some good zip on him. And we saw where Gum was on the receiving end, a few of them at the end of the first round.
Well, as you can see, these two competitors continue to go at it. 1:15 remains in the second and final round. And if there are style points given out, they are certainly given to Shoney Carter.
That's a fashion statement out there, no doubt about it.
No question. Final minute of our preliminary lightweight matchup.
Watch that left arm. Carter, Gum is looking, it seemed like he might try for an arm lock there.
Shoney Carter has the Flojo look going. Florence Griffith Joyner from the Olympics years ago with the one leg long.
God rest her soul.
Absolutely.
Great champion.
Who will be the winner of this fight? Oh, look at that. How about that?
Nice reversal by Gum. And late in the fight, that's going to be important.
Absolutely.
And he's going to get to a mount. Once again, a great position to work from.
Spinning in a hope to avoid some strikes is Shoney Carter.
And Carter doing a nice job, but he's giving up his back. And there's one thing you do there, and that's go for the opponent's throat. And Gum's going to get caught and reversed from there.
I could watch these guys go all night long. What a tremendous effort by both. Carter trying to throw punches, but too fatigued. The final seconds.
What a debut for both.
Wow.
Great action.
Shoney Carter and Brad Gum. Well, what a great job done by both of these fighters in our preliminary matchup earlier this evening. And from the very get-go, prelim fight or what, we have had a spectacular showing here tonight, Jeff Platnick. It was just absolutely a great thing to see Carter and Gum.
And it seemed that Carter got off, but Gum always seemed to be able to come back. And here he's just effective with his striking. And really, this was seemed to be the only time he really wanted to engage striking, but it was highly effective. But it always seemed that Carter came back and did some of his own scoring, particularly with some monster throws. And he has that background in judo. He's used to cutting out the hips and hip tossing, and there, probably for the fourth time, he was able to launch a throw, putting Gum down onto the canvas. Nice reversal by Gum there, too. This was just a classic back and forth, Mike. They kept going at one another, never let up.
And Shoney Carter was awarded a unanimous decision in his UFC debut. A very happy Shoney Carter, a winner by unanimous decision over Brad Gum in our preliminary matchup in the lightweight division earlier this evening. So a great job done by those two fighters. Shoney Carter still hanging around the octagon here in Lake Charles tonight, as our great fans are. And they are going to have a treat indeed with another heavyweight fight on the card with Ted Williams and Steve Judson. Judson's UFC career, a short one, knocked out right here in this building in UFC
22, 31 seconds into the first round by Brad Kohler. And Ted Williams will have his heavyweight fight, his UFC debut against Steve Judson. It will be Williams' UFC debut. 5-0 in mixed martial arts competition. Ted Williams and Steve Judson, a live matchup getting set to go back here inside the Lake Charles Civic Center. Heavyweight matchup this evening, and a good one it should be indeed. Interesting story on Ted Williams, a California State Judo champion, a Sambo champion, an All-American collegiate wrestler, and also a U.S. Valley to-Do Open champion. Steve Judson knew he made a mistake when he fought Brad Kohler, the Brazilian jiu-jitsu expert, kept his hands down, and he feels pressure to perform here tonight. So we get set for Ted Williams and Steve Judson. Could it be any better than it has been so far this evening? There is the biggest man we will see inside the octagon tonight, 6'1", 280-pounder. 3 of his boys are state champions in wrestling, so he feels pressure from the kids.
I mean, there's pressure being in the UFC, but not from the kids. My boys compete. 3 years old to 9 years old, they're competing. All of them champion wrestlers, so it's Daddy's turn.
And Daddy gets his turn tonight inside the world-famous octagon. Set up tonight in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Strong grappling background.
He's obviously coming from a wrestling background, wants to be able to take his opponent down and get on top. He wants to work on top, and working out obviously with Boss's camp, he's going to be learning strikes, round out his arsenal.
Yeah, Boss Rutan, a champion in Williams' corner here this evening. Speed, power, passion, and pain. It's what it takes to get to the top of the mountain for the martial artist. Steve Judson experienced some pain in his fight against Brad Kohler. So we talked to him about the mental preparation for his second entrance inside the padded walls.
I fought the guy many times in my head, you know, every day, every minute, always fighting him, different scenarios, different situations. Sometimes I'm winning, sometimes I'm losing. Put yourself in a situation, think about it, how to get out of it.
At 6'1", 225 pounds, this man is a warrior.
He's definitely a physical specimen, jiu-jitsu stylist, likes to work for submissions. What we saw against Kohler wasn't impressive in terms of his stand-up, but I'm sure he's worked on it since then. And look for him to try to take it to the ground.
He was caught with his hands down. I can imagine that will not happen tonight. Tail of the tape, both of these fighters, 30 years old, but coming in officially at 286 pounds is Ted Williams, 234, the official weight yesterday during our weigh-ins for Steve Judson. Let's get the official introductions for our heavyweight matchup from Bruce Buffer.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a night of pure action. But now, we go up to the heavyweight division, beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a grappler with a mixed martial arts record of 5-0. Standing 6 feet, 1 inch tall, weighing in at 286 pounds. Fighting out of Hesperia, California, and making his octagon debut. Please welcome Ted the Bear Williams. And his opponent, standing to my right, no stranger to the octagon. He is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu expert and a veteran of UFC 22. Standing 6 feet, 1 inch tall, weighing in at 234 pounds. Fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, please welcome Steve Judson.
So we are getting set for Ted Williams and Steve Judson, and once again our referee will be Big John McCarthy, 13 years and counting in the mixed martial arts and jiu-jitsu game. So Big John ready to get the heavyweights underway.
Here we go. You ready? Are you ready? Let's get it on!
I'm wondering how they're going to measure the distance here, Mike. The big man's going to just walk forward into Judson probably, try to smother him. And it's Judson who comes out swinging. Oh!
A left hand from Judson quickly. Trying to close the gap is Ted Williams.
And he is just pushing Williams off. Williams trying to push him in.
Judson's quick
and go
now.
for takedowns. Looks like he's purely wrestling here. Nice knee. Nice knee.
But he's eating them, Jeff. He's
Yes,
eating a lot of them right here.
He's turning his head.
Ted Williams, fighting out of Hesperia, California, born in Orange, California. And Huntsville, Alabama, the birthplace of Steve Judson, just down the road a bit. Now fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona. That one connected. Judson has already made it further than he did in his UFC debut. Williams has a combat grappling center of his own.
Oh, big right hand. Nice undercut.
Williams is in trouble.
And now the big man has what he wants, an underhook so he can hold the body against the fence. Let's see what he can do, but he can't grab the fence. And Judson is staying mobile. He's circling. He's not keeping himself and leaning.
Judson's strong, Jeff.
You can see it. I mean, physically, he looks ripped.
Oh! A big right hand delivered to the chin of Ted Williams. That was a huge punch by Judson. And the left. And now he works the solar plex area.
Let's go, knee!
And Judson's doing a nice job of fending him off. He's constantly using his hands and his feet to keep the big man away from him, and he will not settle with his back up against the fence like he's doing right now.
Ted says he has his kids wrestle because he believes it's God's sport. He believes everybody should do it. In the Army, he hooked up with some Russian Sambo guys, fell in love with that art. Now he is trying to use those type of qualities in his fighting arsenal to work against Steve Judson.
He really seems one-dimensional with his wrestling. He's trying just to get the front headlock, force him into the fence, get to the body. His ideal thing would be to get to his hips. But Judson has done just such a great job in his ability to go ahead and fend him off. Keep him at arm's length. Don't let him get to your hips. And he's got the power to back it up against the 280 pounds.
Oh, there's no question there.
I'm not sure I would have shot a single leg there.
Yeah, I don't know that Judson wants to try to wrestle with Big Ted Williams. Not that Judson can't wrestle being a guy, but now Williams got it right, and he's working the stomach area. A knee and another, and Judson backs off. And Judson, he tried a little rope, and he gets connected. And Ted Williams has knocked down Steve Judson, and it is over. Ted Williams took some punishment in the first round and then gave it right back.
I call that playing possum. He didn't try to do that anytime he put him up against the fence, and it just seemed that Judson forgot to keep his hands up, and he exploded. Came out of there and really hit him, and it reminds me of Andre Roberts when he did that. It seemed like he was getting peppered, pushed up against the fence, hit, and all of a sudden, one punch, he explodes, changes the fight. And what a nice jab. John McCarthy in there to stop it. It was obvious that Judson was hurt. Good call by the official, but a good punch by that man, Ted Williams.
Ted Williams defeats Steve Judson with a TKO at 3:21 as John McCarthy stops the fight. And Williams took punishment to wait his turn to deliver it. But his was so devastating that Judson's night comes
to a close.
And we see yet another.
Well, he was a bear indeed, partner. Have a look at this.
And this is after he already caught him with the big punch, and Judson's almost acting possum. It looked like he was going to come up and hit him, but that jab just ended it. Right away, John McCarthy's in, knowing that Judson looked hurt.
And that is the power of a 280-pound fighter, similar to Andre the Chief, that we saw when he gave it.
Chief was up against the fence, nose bloodied, looked like he was taking tons of punishment, and all of a sudden, bang, one punch.
So Boss Rutan's guy, victorious,
and
Ted Williams.
That was going to be my point. We see yet another UFC champion's pupil come out to the octagon and perform well, and now Boss Rutan has a victory as a coach.
From top to bottom this evening, we have had spectacular competition. Part of that was when the lights were dark earlier. Here's another preliminary fight, a matchup from earlier this evening in Lake Charles. Continuing here in Lake Charles with our preliminary matchup in the heavyweight division. Here tonight from UFC 24, Scott Adams from Los Angeles, California, fighting out of San Luis Obispo, California, and Ian Freeman from England will fight here this evening. Both of these young men making their UFC debuts. And entering the ring, Ian Freeman. A boxer at heart, a brawler's mentality. His style considered valet judo, anything goes, 33 years old. And he is truly excited about the opportunity to fight here inside the octagon. A striker from England, Ian Freeman.
Freeman got a boxing background to start off, then added his grappling skills. He calls himself valet judo, which means anything go, but I have a feeling he'll try to keep it up. Fast hands, heavy hitter, and now has added that grappling skills to his arsenal, but I really think he's going to try to keep it stand-up.
All right, let's see if Ian Freeman, the striker, can take it to Scott Adams, the grappler. Scott Adams is 25. He's 6 foot. He's 223 pounds. His manager and trainer is Chuck Liddell. So you know that this grappler is learning how to strike. Chuck Liddell's so good with the use of his feet, as we have seen before. Adams is a good wrestler. In fact, the first time Scott Adams trained with Tito Ortiz, he leg locked Tito 30 times in a row. So he's very good at submissions.
Well, look for him. That's probably his bread and butter move. And look for him to want it to go to the ground. The question is, how will he get Ian Freeman off his feet?
We will find that out momentarily as Scott Adams, who claims a 5-0 mixed martial arts record, will take on Ian Freeman. Scott Adams, 25 years old, 8 years younger than Ian Freeman, and the weight difference is not a factor in this matchup at 223 and 218, respectively. Ian Freeman coming off a fight with Travis Fulton. And Scott Adams training with Chuck Liddell. For the official introductions, let's go back inside the octagon. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Our next bout is a heavyweight bout consisting of 2 5-minute rounds. Beginning with the fighter standing to my left. He is a valet judo expert who is making his octagon debut. Standing 5 feet, 11 inches tall, weighing in at 218 pounds. Coming to us from the United Kingdom and fighting out of Sunderland, England. Please welcome Ian the Machine Freeman. And his opponent, standing to my right. He is a submission fighter with a mixed martial arts record of 5-0. Standing 6 feet, weighing in at 223 pounds and fighting out of San Luis Obispo, California. Please welcome to the octagon, Scott Adams.
And once again, a heavyweight for the ages will have his opportunity to be the referee here tonight. Dan the Beast Severn, one of the legends of the UFC, our referee.
Let's go. Let's fight.
Adams and Freeman. And here we go.
Class act, touching hands before they start. Freeman has that boxing, and he knew he had to add the ground skills, but his forte will be a beautiful takedown. Adams out of San Luis Obispo and his wrestling skills there, particularly with Chuck Liddell, and they're hooking up on the leg right away, or trying to. Keeping it tight, and he's going for the knee bar.
A lot of flipping around being done right now.
Freeman not panicking, seems to know what to do. Now he's got it, seems that...
trying to work an ankle.
He's trying to get the knee bar again, and Freeman doing a nice job of rolling through it all. Seems to know what he's doing down there and avoid it.
Now Scott Adams wearing the tap-out shorts, trying to get a quick tap-out here via the submission.
You know, sometimes your reputation can hurt you. Perhaps too many people heard about his leg locks against Tito Ortiz. It seemed Freeman came prepared to deal, at least with the knee bars.
Well, Scott Adams said even though he took this fight on short notice, he teaches a submission class, so he feels like he is in good condition. He's been addicted to the Ultimate Fighting Championship as a fan for a long time. Now he gets to enter the octagon. I remember when we talked to Ken Shamrock in the past, he described to me his emotions of that first entrance into the octagon when that gate closes behind you. And then hopefully after that, your confidence and your instincts take over.
Well, certainly you want to go ahead, and you don't always want your instincts to take over. What you want is the discipline to the game plan you go in with. Obviously, if the situation warrants it, you change your game plan. But that's the key to it. The whole idea is to focus on what you have to do, not what you hope the results will be.
So on the
once
line
again,
right now
looking for the leg.
And they switching around. So Freeman and Adams working most of the beginning of this first round.
Looks like heel hook now. Looks like heel hook. Working on the left knee of Ian Freeman, and Freeman rolling to try to keep the pressure off.
Adams looks like he's all about wanting a submission, doesn't he, Jeff?
Sure is, and he's after that left leg. He can go knee bar or look like he had heel hook there really more in mind.
I mean, as a boxer at heart, as Ian Freeman is, he's rolling with it nicely, though.
Yes, he is, and by going with it, you take the pressure off. It's when you fight against it that you feel the pressure most.
Now, Freeman says he's trained with some of the best fighters in the world. Marco Huas, Enzo Gracie, John Machado, Mauricio Gomez. I mean, so he has rolled, as you say, around the mat a lot. Talking to the Beast Severn, looking for both to work.
And he looked like he had a heel hook in there tight, and Ian Freeman didn't flinch.
Freeman, 218 pounds. Adams, 223. A heavyweight
That's their Achilles
fight.
now. Arching hard, but he just seems to have that too far up in the elbow. Wouldn't you want you'd seem to want your forearm into that Achilles more. But it's that arch that's going to produce the
There's
pressure.
the tap, and there it is. Scott Adams gets the submission on Ian Freeman. And Adams is your winner.
He worked for it awful hard. He stayed tenacious with it. He kept the lock, and it was just a matter of an inch or two before the pressure became right. And Adams doing a great job against Freeman with submission.
3:12 of the first round. Scott Adams victorious in his UFC debut.
And here it's going to be the arch that sets the pressure the most. And here he's arching, and there you can see Freeman had nowhere to go, nowhere to turn and roll to relieve the pressure, had a tap.
It's almost as if he leaned the wrong way, and then it just went right in there. Watch him lean away right here.
Beautiful. You see him blocking with his left leg against Freeman's right leg, and that sets the pressure because Freeman can't move out.
Now he tried to spin away from it on multiple occasions, but in the end, Ian Freeman defeated by submission by Scott Adams.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by tap out at 3 minutes, 12 seconds in the first round for the winner, Scott Adams.
So Adams, known for his ability to submit, especially the leg locks, gets the Achilles and closes the debut of Ian Freeman. Scott Adams, truly excited about winning inside the octagon in his UFC debut. He was absolutely thrilled with the win. Don't forget, the next time Jeff and I will see you, April 21st, 9 o'clock will be our airing time. A card that will feature Tito Ortiz in the middleweight championship against Vanderlei Silva. Also, Eugene Jackson would be considered the next great contender in that middleweight division. And he will be on our card that night, April 21st. Some spectacular performances in their UFC debuts put on by many here tonight at UFC 24. It began with a great performance by Jens Pulver. Pulver was absolutely spectacular, one of Miletich's guys, and he did a wonderful job of overwhelming his opponent. Jens Pulver defeating a game opponent. And then we saw others come in. Oh, I'll tell you what, this one started huge. Tiki and Bob Cook. Tiki, Tito Ortiz's guy. Bob Cook, Frank Shamrock's man, and Frank gets Tito one more time. An all-out war between Fabiano Iha and Dave Menne. Bruised but not battered, he was victorious. Lance Gibson Sr. And a wonderful performance it was by these two fighters. The dreadlocks on one, the punches on the other. Jermaine Andre and Gibson go toe-to-toe. Gibson Sr. scores the TKO. And finally, the heavyweights. And what punishment Steve Judson threw early on Ted Williams. Williams wins at 321. For Jeff Blatnick and James Wormy, I'm Mike Goldberg. It's been a great UFC 24. We'll see you in April, right back here